We're going to unpack the episode that we've just seen, but also have a look at how the series gets made together. And I'm daunted because I'm trying to make sure that I actually introduce everyone in the right order because they've all got names attached to their places. I love it how everyone's managed to circumnavigate most of Central America, and I can't get people to sit on an order in chairs. So let's see how we get going. So if you could please welcome along, I have at the very end Tyler West, and then next to him is Molly Rainford. We've then got Philip McCreery, who is a series producer, and next to him we've got Lewis Price, who's the embed producer and director. Next we've got Bal. And then, of course, alongside Bal, we've got Anita Rani. And then we've got Harleymoon, who travelled with Roman Kemp. And finally, we've got Jackie, who travelled with Dylan. I'm going to start with you, Philip, because you're the series producer. So firstly, if you could just give an overview of the role, but also kind of basically explain about how you chose this location and this series in terms of where to start and where to end it.
Yeah, sure. The overview of the role of series producer is overseeing the casting, overseeing the route, overseeing health and safety, overseeing the edit. Basically, we are got an overview of the whole series, and making sure that everything comes together. That's really it. So it's pretty much looking after the. Along with it, there's many of us, but looking after the whole series, making sure that everything comes together. And in terms of choosing this route, I mean, we've got our regular series, and we've got the celebrity series, and we're always looking for a route that this route will take somewhere around 32 days. So a journey that will take that length of time, as well as something that will take in different landscapes, different cultures, that will really get us to go on just a physical journey through mountains, through deserts, to the sea, through the jungle, making sure that it is a route that has diversity and that the series has an arc, but also that every episode has an identity. So that's and Central America, it's sort of we sort of conceived it as a route around the Caribbean. And it's just something that feels like it's got beginning and an end. So we start at the top of the sort of the land area of the Caribbean and followed it the whole way around to the other side of the Caribbean.
And this is a question that I've always thought when I've seen this show. Is this an easy show to make?
No.
There's so many moving parts. What are the main hurdles you have to think of when you're thinking, okay, right, we're going through Central America. What is the first? Where do you? Oh, it's a big question, isn't it?
I mean, there's just, as you say, there's so many moving parts. I think giving everyone a sort of an adventure that you could not buy, like even for these guys who are sort of celebs and who have probably done quite a lot of travel, even this is not something that they would ever be able to do. It's just an adventure you could not buy. And creatively, the main hurdle is making it that. It's turning into a sort of the adventure of a lifetime, whilst also balancing. This is not an easy place to travel through at all. I'm sure any of the guys who've done it would agree with me.
Making us as lost as possible.
Exactly. Exactly. So having multiple different journeys that you can take, they choose that they pick their own adventure. A lot of areas of the world will just have one road the whole way through it, but picking somewhere like this, there's many different ways that you can choose to travel through it, and also making sure that it's safe. Like we want to making sure that it's safe whilst also feeling completely raw. Like the things that we put in place to make sure that the journey stays authentic whilst also being nothing's actually going to happen to anyone, even though it's very close sometimes.
But it means that you have to have a 24-hour production team, right?
Exactly. Yeah. We've got our team on the ground on location. We've also got a whole team, pretty much the same team in London, who work when we are sleeping, because these guys are traveling. The race never stops. So we've always got someone there.
Well, before we chat more to the competitors, I want to sort of ask a question to Lewis, who sat next to me, because you're an embed producer. So you basically travel with the team the whole way. And you were with Harleymoon and Roman.
Yes.
like on a day-to-day basis, just putting this TV show together, what are the main things, as well as filming, I guess, kind of, because you're trying to capture everything, aren't you?
Yeah, and I've tried to kind of piece this together myself. I'd say that actually filming it and producing it is probably about 20% of the role. 50% is telling Harley to look both ways across the road.
I was on a mission, Lewis. Don't slow me down, babes.
But it is, and one of the things that I enjoy about the role on Race is that you really are managing a team, looking out for everyone there, make sure that you're getting all the things that you need to produce these scenes. This is it's an absolute team effort. There's not one role that makes that. It's a fully team effort.
And can I just add, because I know everyone's like, oh, we've got a camera crew following you. They're sleeping on the floor with us. They're everywhere that we are. It is not like, TV where people get their luxury rooms up while we're on the bus. Lewis was taking the hits as much as we were.
Well, this was what I was going to ask about, because as well as having your sort of partnership with the person you're competing with, of course, with you with Roman, you also having to be with this sort of unit person the whole way, or this small team. What is that bond like? Because it's pretty unique, isn't it, in terms of having someone follow you the whole way?
We're best mates now. It is.
You turn into, like, I was with my brother, and brother-sister relationship, you always kind of love and hate each other. It also becomes that with the crew, because you're like, this guy's driving me nuts, but he's also saving my ass at the same time by just being around. So,
and I think you've obviously got the partnership that you see on screen, but I really do think that the team is really the makeup of those two and the producer director. That's the three of us are the people doing the sleeping on the floor or going on the buses. My role does exactly what they do all the time.
Yes, I mean, you were just sort of talking about sort of traveling with Lewis. I guess with like Roman, you're quite different in terms of your demeanor, in terms of traveling. Kind of, you're quite laid back. He was quite anxious. I'm sort of intrigued. How does that develop during the series? Does he build more confidence, or is it that dynamic continue throughout?
It's an interesting one, because Roman was always a lot more, as you kind of start to see, and as you'll see more as the episodes go on, he's like very sensitive, very serious. Even though he's younger than me, he always felt that kind of older brother vibe. So I do, and if I'm honest, when I was at home, I thought he was just being annoying. And then I thought, oh, okay, no, this is a real thing I need to tend to. And I think what's amazing for the relationship, which I'm sure everyone, I feel like you are so in survival mode. You haven't got time to wind each other up and do the digs that you'd normally do around the kitchen table. You've just got to look after each other. And I think we both have our highs and our lows throughout the trip, and we kind of learn to look after each other a bit in our different ways. Obviously, there's times where you want to shake them and say, get a grip, come on, we've got to keep moving. But when you're relying on each other, it really changes everything in your relationship.
Jackie, I want to ask you a question. I mean, like, just seeing you with Dylan, who's sadly can't be here this evening, was just such a delight. And also, I think I wrote down in my notes, the line, "Can we stay in your hospital?" I think is just one of the most memorable lines I think I've ever seen in this program, which is a delight. But also, I mean, sort of similar in terms of kind of when I was touching on Roman's anxiety. You were talking about in the opening episode about Dylan and yours lack of confidence in terms of approaching people. I'm intrigued by how did being on this show and participating in this race help your confidence?
Yes, by the end, we were very confident, but we were very slow starters, even asking people. And you saw Dylan going, looking around. We were both slow about it, but it made us realize people were happy to help, and we shouldn't have that fear. So, yeah, we definitely improved as we went along.
And also, I mean, because he's an actor, is it also the fact that you get to spend a lot of time with him as an adult as well, kind of with family time one-on-one in this way? Because I think he's off filming quite a lot of time and then back with you again for this trip.
We don't spend that much time with him, really. Probably 3 weeks in a year, maybe. Yeah, but now he's got a spare room in his new house. We can stay with him a bit more now. Yeah.
I want to bring in Anita and Bal. When I was speaking to you out in the green room area, or the green room, the bit upstairs, we were having a chat about how you said that when you were first approached to take part in this, that you wanted to be with Bal, that this was the person you wanted to bring with you. What was the sort of the reason behind that?
Me and Dad have just thought we've got a similar sort of adventurous spirit, and I knew that Dad is he's always so excited to hear about anything and just naturally curious. And so I was like, right, this opportunity has come our way. It's got to be. Are you up for it, Dad? But you didn't realise quite what you were letting yourself in for.
No, not really. When she said, Dad, are you up for an adventure? And I thought, oh, maybe a weekend away. She's going to take me somewhere. She's been all over the world and probably take me somewhere. Then she mentioned, oh, it's going to be about 6 weeks. I thought, what? And I didn't realise how tough it would be. It's quite hard.
Yeah, very tough.
Quite tough.
Also, although we completely had the wrong. Well, I sort of tried to figure out where we might be going. I thought we might be going to East Africa and planned this whole. It's like, right, it's going to be Kenya, Tanzania. It was like the whole thing. I'd mapped it out, and then I started training, like drilling Dad in Swahili.
You're such a journalist. This is such a journalist way, Bebek.
She had 2 words. She said, Dad, learn 2 words at least. One is Jambo, means hello. And the one's Nafu. I said, what's that mean? Cheaper.
Yeah.
Make sure cheaper.
And also we thought we'd be fine because there's loads of Indians who've lived there. We'll find some temples. We'll eat some curry. It's going to be great. Anyway, yeah, Mexico. So
When you told me you'd learnt Swahili, I thought, God, they're definitely ahead of us.
So how does it work? Does it literally, you agree to be on the program, and then do they just then say, hiya, please turn up in Mexico on this date? That's it?
no, you know nothing. You absolutely, and actually the way they keep it secret. I mean, the whole thing is unbelievable. You're totally clueless until you get to the airport. Like even the drive to the airport, and then they take everything away from you, so you can't contact anybody. Your wallet's gone, your phone's gone, and you're handed an envelope. That's it. The next thing you know, it's like, okay. Forget the Swahili, Dad. We learned a wrong language.
This is what happened when the driver came to take us to the airport, and we were all convinced we were going to Africa. And we spoke to the driver, that taxi driver. He was from Kenya. Yeah. And we thought, this is a plan. This is it. The driver's from Kenya. And he said, yes, we're in. We know exactly where we're going. We're over the airport, and they said, here's the envelope. And they picked it up and says, Mexico. I thought, where?
No Spanish between us. But anyway, yeah, you really have no clue whatsoever.
I just wish that there was a camera during that bit. It would have been absolutely priceless if we only would have added to the program. I mean, Anita and Bal were talking about how you have your phone taken off in that first episode, Molly. Like, it was all very much you were talking about not having your phone, not being on social media. I guess I can't spend more than 10 minutes off my phone in one way or another. What was it like being off for so unconnected for the whole trip?
I think at first it felt scary. It felt like I was going to be reaching for it, like you do, to pay or to look up on maps or whatever. Or
just to scroll on TikTok.
Let's not forget that one. But actually, we kind of got used to that way quicker than I expected. And I think because we were so head in the game and just really invested in what we were doing, that actually we didn't miss it.
Yeah.
And I was so surprised because, me being a Gen Z, I thought I'd definitely be lost about it, but I loved it. It was actually amazing because I feel like, especially for people like my age, it's like you've grown up with them. Like there's never been a real escape from screens, from apps, from social media. So it was so nice that I actually got the opportunity to not be allowed it. And just be normal.
We've got strong chat as well when we're not on our phones. I'm just saying, we was having a great chat.
We're not smoking like that before.
No, the only thing I missed from my phone was a calculator because I swear to you, we sat on the back of a bus doing maths for 16 hours at some point. So it's like 60 plus 60 plus 60.
It needs to go quicker though, didn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it was like.
Yeah, and also carrying cash the whole time as well. It's quite daunting, isn't it, in terms of getting from A to B? I mean, is that sort of in the back of your mind, you're trying to think about, okay, the budget for the next few days is this. How am I going to get to there? Is it? I was like, I think that must forward.
Yeah, I was like Nat West. I held it here, and it did. If we wanted to make a transaction, you had to do facial ID before I unlock it. I was not letting it go because also it's different currencies, and it's the thing that as massive fans of the show, like you don't think about like the transactions and doing the exchanges as you move through the countries and that.
No.
You know, that's a difficult
and
in
the
a sense.
time zones.
Yeah.
Just forget.
Exactly.
You watch it.
So Philip, like when you are then putting the show together then, so you're having the teams with a unit person with each sort of set, and was it 2 people per team essentially?
Well, with each team, there is Lewis, the PD, who also has with him an AP who does sound, and who the entire time, these guys are not on their phone at all. The entire time, I think I must get about 2,000 WhatsApps every day, explaining what they're doing, where they are, what decisions they're making, so that we can, so that we in the production team at the Checkpoint and in London can follow the story of what's going on to make sure that. I guess just like any production and just like any story, to make sure that any thread that is started is finished, that stories have beginning, middles, and ends. And these guys, usually, these guys are fantastic, but they're also sleeping in bus stations and probably only having 2 meals a day. If that's just living on crisps and custard creams. So we're keeping an eye on the story arc, and that involves us getting a lot of WhatsApps from the team on the ground. Then with them, they also have a support vehicle, who's a driver. We've got there's what we call an MSA, a multi-skilled agent, who does security, and he's also a medic should anything happen. So every time anyone gets on a bus, stays in a hotel, crosses the road, there's someone out there looking after their safety. If they're walking through dodgy parts of town, just keeping an eye looking around them. And then on top of that, we've got a researcher and a fixer. The fixer is someone who speaks the local language, and we'll be running around getting release forms off everyone, getting location releases. And our researcher is also picking up GVs. The researchers often, he'll speak to be communicating with the PD, saying they'll be in the support vehicle, they'll travel ahead of the bus, so then someone is there to pick up them getting off the bus on the other end if Lewis is on that bus. So it's a huge amount of logistics within the team, and then we've got 5 of those going on at the same time to making sure that all that happens.
Can I just say that that's an incredible team? Like they really do really work hard, but also they're snaky. Yeah, because
The paranoia.
you will be there and you'll be like looking at the map and we'll be like, oh, maybe we should go this way, maybe we should go this way. And I'm half thinking in a minute they're going to cut the cameras and just give us a little clue. So I'm like, no. There goes no help, like whatsoever.
I think the hardest part is because when you're on the wrong bus or you're going the wrong direction, they know, but they won't tell you, and you have to
They're just smiling.
What is that like, Lewis? I mean, in terms of like when you're traveling along with them and you're going, shit, they're going in the wrong direction, shit. Like what? You can't do anything, but you can't even show to them that they're doing anything wrong.
It makes great TV. I think all PDs are different, I guess, but my preference is to know everything about where they're heading or where they might head. So a bit of a map nerd. I'll check things out. I'll be looking at the timetable. So the moment they are making a wrong decision or not a favourable decision, I'll be able to know that, and that means I'll be able to feel where things are going to head.
And really zoom in when you know we're going the wrong way.
Yeah, crush zooms,
Basically, yeah.
guys. And I think you just have to get past it. I mean, if I didn't know and then I found out we were on the wrong bus, I think I'd just be as perplexed as they were. So I'd rather go through the trauma a bit earlier than they do.
But there was no sense, Harleymoon, that you had any sort of case that they...
Honestly, like it's the one thing everyone asks. Like, surely the crew, like, you can get a hint or you know that you're going in the wrong direction. I don't know if they audition these camera crew as actors. I don't know, but we knew nothing. They're set back from you. You don't really interact with them much. And at times, obviously, you're a few weeks in. You're exhausted, you're starving, you slept rough and you're knackered, and we start testing, like, do you think they know? We're getting paranoid between us, like, maybe we'll say we're going this way, and me and Roman, like, look in their eyes. And no one gave us nothing, but they genuinely are, like, really detached from you as contestants. So I know everyone thinks surely they must help you out here and there. There's nothing. You feel like you're on your own and they're set back just filming you.
And to caveat that, I mean, you know, if they're going to do something that's stupidly dangerous, we do stop that. But you know, by and large, as Philip mentioned, we've got the MSAs. They're making sure that we should be safe.
So what does the MSA stand for?
multi-skilled agent, advisor. Yeah.
They're the ninjas.
It always sounds important if it is an
Secret
acronym,
ninjas.
isn't it?
Ninjas.
Jackie, when you were watching episode 1, because you were just talking about we were just talking about sort of planning ahead, were you a little bit anxious now watching the first episode of how much food you got in terms of budgetary wise, trying to plan that out for the rest of the series?
I just can't believe we ordered that amount of food. I don't know what we were thinking.
You know so little at the beginning.
Spending the money on the trains, I didn't realise we were charged double. And I know that when we bought our ticket, we didn't have enough money at the train station, and the ticket lady helped us to pay for our ticket. It's very difficult to know how much to exchange as well into the local money, and we hadn't done enough. We got into some right messes, which thankfully weren't put on there as well. Besides what we did there.
Anita and Bal, did you sort of have having a film crew with you? And I know that you're a broadcaster in your interview. Does that sort of help provide the shield in terms of going up to strangers and asking them for help or questions or anything along the way? Or is it always a little bit nerve-wracking? Because you were quite confident from the off.
I think me and Dad are quite. When we're from Yorkshire, everyone chats to everyone, right? So that kind of helps. So we were up for it, weren't we? We were probably
We're not
up for
afraid
it.
to approach people. If all they can say is no.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we've kind of got that attitude. But no, it was genuinely. It's so difficult because every morning you wake up, well, I did anyway, with this sense of anxiety because you have no idea what you're going to be up for the next day and how you're going to get from A to B. It's just like, right, let's step into the unknown once again and figure out how we're going to get from this place to this place that we have no idea about, no language, and just hope that we won't get into a sticky situation. I mean, yeah.
Not giving any spoilers.
No, exactly. I don't want to give any spoilers away. But yeah, in terms of talking to people, that wasn't.
No, talking was quite easy.
Just I mean, there was a bit of a language barrier, obviously, but
No Spanish.
still no Spanish.
I think I learned one word that Anita still laughs at me. It's mosquito moss.
It means nothing. Literally, there is no word. Mosquito moss. But people seem to understand you, so that was the main thing.
And Bal, it was sort of talked about in that opening episode about how sort of essentially raising Anita, you didn't travel the world as much as other people have. What has this experience given you in terms of not only spending time with Anita, but also seeing all of these different places you hadn't been to before?
I'll tell you, it's an amazing experience. I've never been to some of these places. I've travelled England quite a bit, but abroad, very, very few places. I think place I've been to is Holland before, if you want to say that's abroad.
That was our only holiday. Not only have we not done a lot of travel, we'd never been on holiday together. And I left home at 18, so we've not actually spent this amount of time together.
We've never really spent a long time. I mean, maximum probably a weekend here and there. That's about all.
Yeah, we just didn't do family holidays at all. Get the violins out. It's all right, made up for it.
We're going to throw to some audience questions in a moment. If you are thinking of some now, I'll throw to you in a couple of minutes. I want to ask Molly and Tyler. I mean, essentially sort of following on the question from Anita and Bal, what did this experience bring you in terms of traveling to all of these different places? How do you think you changed as a person, but also you're spending so much time together on this trip? I guess sort of what did you learn about each other?
I think when you're over here on a normal day-to-day life, it's very easy to hide behind work and busy schedules and things like that. But then when you go to some of the locations that we visited, it's completely stripped back, and it's the rawest versions of ourselves. I thought I knew Moles, but then all of a sudden when we go away to there, I'm like, okay, now I really do know you in every aspect. I've seen you in every situation, sort of thing. And I think it's really special. It only brought us closer together. I think there's some tough moments that definitely come up. And I think that's all the reason as to why I fell in love with her. And that's all the reason as to why we became so close. And yeah, I couldn't have done it with anybody else. So
I think what's so cool about the setup of the show and how you build your team essentially is that you realize really quickly that there's going to be so many moments when I'm going to take the lead and I'm going to be the one, come on, we've got this, we can do it, and Ty's going to have these low moments when he thinks like, I'm really defeated, and that continues to seesaw between you two, and it's about like knowing when it's your time to step up and pull each other out of it. I feel like that's something that we found like so early on, which just kind of secured our team from the off, and it was like, okay, we've got each other. And I think that's what made us, we wanted to do another checkpoint in another week and carry on, because we enjoyed that so much. We enjoyed the drive of it, we enjoyed the thrill of it, but we also just loved having that time together, solely together.
Also, we've seen each other in situations that now you can't leave me, right? You can't. We all saw the bed bug moment, yeah. Nobody will date me.
Oh yeah, it got worse than the bed bugs, yeah.
And that is, if that's not a reason to keep watching, then I'm not sure what else is. Jackie, I know that it can't be here this evening, but in terms of like what this trip brought your relationship, and also from what traveling brought, like what were the main sort of takeaways from this experience for you?
I suppose we both went on a journey in our confidence levels and grew. Both of us. Only when Dylan left home, he was 25 and quite young and naive, and I still thought him as that. But he's grown up into an incredible young man, and I saw that at the end. It's quite emotional, actually. Yeah, I grew as well, because I'm very much I hide by my husband and let him do everything. And I had to push myself as well. And I did. And we were there for each other. We did go through a lot of tough times, and I did cry a lot, but I think they've cut a lot of it out, which is good. Yeah, it was an incredible experience, and how lucky am I to do it with my son.
That's so lovely. Harleymoon, how about for you?
What was the question? Sorry,
Just in terms of like, what did this experience bring you, and also for your relationship with Roman as well?
I think it absolutely changed mine and Roman's relationship forever. I think we're a really close family, but as I think I said before, like, when you're a close family, it doesn't mean that me and your siblings are best mates. It means like you meet up at your mum and dad's house and take the dogs out and make each other a cup of tea and do the small talk. But I don't remember the last time me and Roman went for dinner together or on holiday together. And we're such different characters. I was really up for the adventure, and I didn't realize what bag of nerves I was taking with me. And but he was always, the more kind of sensible, the more straight, the more sensitive guy. And the first thing when we got home, my parents were like, "Please tell us, did you get on?" And we were like, "We're still talking." And they were like, "Oh, thank God," because he was so worried about us. And but the thing that I came away from it is like being able to have that time to really understand each other is exactly why I went on this adventure, because I don't know when ever in our lifetime that we would have come together in that way. And I think learning that, I think I was always quite strong and punchy and ready for the adventure. And I think actually learning that being vulnerable is also a really beautiful thing to be. And being sensitive is a really beautiful thing to be. And I think before, like I said, when we were kids, I used to find it annoying that he was trying to tell me off, or, have a different way of thinking. I think this gave us like 7 weeks of understanding each other. And I couldn't put any price on doing that adventure.
I'm going to ask the same question to you, Anita. Like, what did this experience bring sort of with your relationship with your dad in terms of this trip?
Well, we're actually not talking to each other anymore. We're just contractually obliged to be here. No,
I've probably seen how far she's sitting away from it.
So it was amazing. I think I'm just reflecting on it now, and it feels like when you're little and your dad takes you places and goes, "Look at that, isn't that amazing? And look at that, and look at the world, and there it is." And it felt like we were having that experience, but in a slightly different way. And in terms of talking to people, for us, that was really part of it. Like, to go to these amazing places together and have that sense of curiosity, and speaking to locals is exactly what we wanted to do, right? We wanted to go and experience this place and find out who the people were. But to do it with my dad and to at least know that I'm with somebody who, I don't know, I'm with my dad. Like, who better to be with? Just that, and we laugh at the same things, which is very helpful.
Exactly. We laugh at the same. We've got the same sort of sense of humour. But for me, it was actually seeing your little girl grow up and see how mature and also how hard-working she'd been. And you never realise how hard to get where she was and how hard she'd had to work. And now, actually, when we were travelling, I was just realising that she's now actually guiding me rather than as a father taking a daughter somewhere. It's the daughter taking the father somewhere, which is a really, really good experience, which I think really touched me, that did.
God, there's so many emotions on this panel. Jesus. So lovely. Shall we open questions to the floor now?
What was the funniest memory that you'll be discussing over the Sunday dining table forevermore? And what was the biggest nightmare from this whole experience?
Start with
Question
you've got a face that makes me think you've got an answer.
I feel like a lot of the funniest moments weren't funny at the time. Do you know what I mean? They got funny after we got over it.
Which bit do you want? Me and Molly yo-yoing from the same toilet. I don't like that. That wasn't funny at the time, but all of a sudden it was. Or when we went into one town and asking for a bus, and everybody was just drunk. Which wasn't funny, but again, when looking back, it was quite funny. Us trying to talk to some drunk people. I don't know. Like, what's the one moment that sticks with
the thing that makes me laugh is that when we pulled up to the chili farm, Ty was convinced that he was an El Jefe. Like this is a scheme for something else in the Mexican desert. And we were like, okay, a bit far fetched. We're watching too much Netflix or something. I don't know. But yeah, that was funny.
Has anyone else got any moments they are willing to share until it's shown on BBC One nationally?
The funniest moment is Jackie and Dylan trying to get into a hospital for the night. But just brilliant.
You didn't mention that at the checkpoint, did you?
Just stuff that you don't see because there's so much that happens. Obviously, you can only fit so much on this trip. Dad stayed at his first ever backpackers, and they were all playing pool, and everyone was really young. And I was like, and they were just tattooing each other. These 16-year-olds, like 18-year-olds from all over the world, I was like, Dad, you are going to see people smoking weed. And Dad was like, as long as I don't get high, as long as I have. He's like, what is going on? Like people smoking weed, tattooing each other. I was like, yeah, backpacking does, yeah.
It's the first time I've seen people when they wake up next morning and say, what did I have tattooed?
Yeah.
So as a quick follow-up, like you all see each other when you go to the checkpoint. You don't know what's happened apart from who's in each order. I guess, are you therefore relying on other people to tell you about their experience or them waiting to see it on the TV? Is that basically?
It's trauma bonding. Yes, big time. As soon as, I mean, I'm not going to, like, I didn't think we were going to get first to that first checkpoint. But you do kind of secretly hope that you are.
Yeah.
Like, no matter, like, how behind you think you could be, and like, please may no one be on there. That as soon as you turn page, you think, oh, thank God someone else is here. What's happened to you? Because time feels like forever. Like one day when you've done a 6-hour bus, then a 4-hour bus, then a train, or slept somewhere rough and then got up at 5 a.m. the next morning. Like, as you said, there's so much time that is cut into 15 minutes. And as soon as you get to the checkpoints and you can tell each other, that's been the joy of watching it back, being able to see those little innuendos that everyone had told us about, like when Jackie said, we tried to sleep in a hospital.
It's like you're doing this really unique experience, and the only other people who know exactly what you're going through are the other teams. So when we got to the checkpoints, it really is a moment to like just get together. And also your microphones 24/7, there's a mic on you, right? So to be able to actually take a mic off and just chill and have a hot shower and just talk to the only other people on earth who know what you're going through is exactly that. It's trauma.
The funny thing is we all thought we would get there in like 2 days. And then to see it was like day 5 we get to the first checkpoint. We're all going, okay, now we've got an idea of what we're in for. pretty much with the travel, and like just hearing, we thought, oh, we went 2 hours into this Mexican farm, and then these guys, their bus broke down, and these guys managed to get 24 hours ahead, and you're like, okay, we actually can't plan for what happens next. We just have to throw ourselves in even more.
Also for you, Lewis, like in terms of the checkpoints, is that just a place to recharge batteries as well as like mental batteries as well?
Yeah, mental batteries, definitely. Yeah, it's a chance to just recoup, chat to the wider team, as Phil mentioned, about story arcs, making sure we're covering what we're expecting to cover. It's a chance to reset, see what we achieved, see what new stories came up. So, but yeah, mental recharge is definitely top of the list.
Let's go to another audience question. Yes, you at the back. Our mic's running to you now.
I'm Jonathan. I represent Molly, and I know how Molly and Tyler like their creature comforts. And I've heard this whole wonderful romantic story or fraternal story or father and daughter story. But I'm guessing there were some really horrible nights. And we started the bed bugs with Molly and Tyler and how really hot it was. So what were the nights like? I'm guessing some were, well, you tell us. What were they nights?
Who wants to start with that?
It gets worse than bed bugs, like for sure. Like I would say, I had the most traumatic birthday of my life.
Oh yeah.
Which you're about to see.
Yeah, we had an anniversary. You had your birthday. We did.
And I still didn't get a present at all. I didn't get one present there. No, the bugs are. The bugs are sweet. It was just your presents. That was just being together was enough.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I mean, I shared a bed
Thanks, Holly.
with Roman, who's 6'2", and my younger brother, and we were in a single bed. First night, it's a bit awkward. I'm like, what side do you want to go on? There's no aircon. We're sweating. He's trembling with anxiety. And that was our first night for 7 weeks to follow.
I think we stayed in a hotel with some geckos falling from the ceiling, and also the owner thought we were refugees.
That is true. It did happen. But,
It's because
I remember
for the border, wasn't it?
yeah.
I remember
Basically, when you're asking how to get to the border and you're two sort of, culturally ambiguous looking brown people in Central America, then
I remember when we finally, even though we ended up staying there for 2 nights, when we got to Valladolid and Roman was so stressed, thinking we're so far behind if we stay here again. And I was really trying to hold it together and be so positive. And I thought, no, it's all good. Don't worry. Look, we'll stay in this hostel. It's fantastic. And he's like, kind of got his nerves and his backpack on. And I remember sitting on the bed and dust shot out. And he went, is this it? I went, this is it. This is home.
I think we got time for a couple more questions.
Yeah, I was wondering from a producing point of view, does someone presumably do the route before everyone else? And then the budget, do you because you don't want to be at we've misjudged the budget, so that could be a fun job to just travel around and look for the experiences, the jobs that they do and stuff. How does that work?
Yeah, Philip.
Yeah, we send someone on a recce of the route before we go on it, and it's someone who someone who has no idea of where they're going, so they have the same experience as the contributors in the program. So they go on the route again with security and medic, and also with someone from production. This is someone from our production company who goes on the route. We make sure that they don't know where they're going, and they go with someone from production who's going along and basically working on all of the logistics that we need to know in order for them to do that route. And what they spend on that recce gives us an idea of what budget we should give to the contributors on the race as well, which they then obviously also have. They can top that up along the way. So we try and work it out to make sure that it's tight, but not so tight that they can't enjoy themselves, but not so generous that it's easy. So it's a difficult calculation.
Okay, thank you.
And one more question.
As we've seen in the episode, when things do kind of get tough, the teams have each other to motivate themselves and kind of rely on each other. I'm curious for the producing team, what that's like when you're embedded in the production for 6 weeks, to say, and you're kind of getting to the tippy point of the end of the series, how you keep that team motivated and how you keep that focus going.
I'm not sure I did. I didn't realise how much I shouted until the end, and Harley said, "You do shout a lot, don't you, Les?"
You did a good job, mate.
I did a good job, right?
Yeah.
No, I think we had the checkpoints, and they're really a chance for us to recoup. But throughout the shoot, as Phil said, you've got a whole team that are available 24 hours, and you have someone to call at any point. I'm pretty sure I called a few people in the audience here at stupid o'clock in the morning whilst they're sat in London. Definitely called you a couple of times. And that support team is really important. You just can't carry it all on your own shoulders.
They are incredible teams, all of them. Like, they work so hard because they are on the ground with us, having to follow the action, talk to base, make sure everyone's safe, like everything that they do. And then they have to kind of, report back and
manage our emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, I was
when
gonna
we're
say, like,
broken.
you end up becoming really close with your embed team. Like, I mean, and especially when we saw with the other teams at checkpoints, like, I feel like it's like an experience that you don't experience with anyone else, and they're the only ones who have kind of literally gone on your route with you. And so they were kind of the only other people from each other that we could, learn something new about someone.
It was like Paul Bronson on Married at First Sight when he's there and he's talking on the sofa. It was like couples therapy for us with our embed team. Sam, like we took our team out for some food and drinks the other week, and we caught up, and then we heard the realness about how they felt with our journey on the road and stuff like that. The truth came out in the end. So nice one, Lou. But still, they are some of the most incredible people. But also, they're human beings, and so that's why we became so close. And we looked after them as much as they looked after us. I think that's what sort of keeps you going.
Every show is the people that make it, and I feel like that's why we felt so lucky, because everyone in the crew, everyone on the floor at home, on the floor in the checkpoints, like, everyone was just so lovely, so supportive, and it just felt like a true team with everyone, which was amazing.
Yeah, I was surprised how hard they worked, because when we were on,
Cheers, but they are in the room.
oh really? I know, but because I've never been in this industry, I thought they'd probably go in hotels in the evening or whatever. But we were actually dictating them what time we're going to be setting off in the morning, so they'd have to be ready an hour before, but we'd actually set off. So if we're saying we're going to set off at 7 o'clock in the morning, these guys have to be ready for us, ready to go. We shouldn't be waiting for them. It's the other way around. So they have to be 100% ready for us to move.
Yeah, I mean, asking Harley, did you fancy a lie-in at all? Never landed.
Absolutely not, mate. I was glad me and Lewis weren't the couple on the race, because we were so fiery. He's like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "No way, Lewis, run!" But thankfully I was with Roman, who's nice and calm. But you need to be tough, and you need to have a lot of energy to be in the crew. And yeah, there's just so much respect for them. Really, really, really.
And occasionally get things in focus, just occasionally.
Yeah.
Well, let me just say, it's always lovely to have the team who made it in the room with you along with our fantastic cast here. I just want to say thank you. Firstly, a bit of a note to say that the celebrity race across the world will be on November the 6th at 8 p.m. They're ready before for traitors, which also happened to be made by Studio Lambert. So it's a big night. It's a big night for Studio Lambert. I just want to say thank you so much to the RTS. Thank you so much for the people who helped to prep for this evening. And thank you for my panel. Thank you to my panel even. Jackie, Harleymoon, Anita, Bal, Lewis, Philip, Molly and Tyler. Thank you so much. There's some drinks upstairs. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Thanks so much.